Welcome back to the No More Lies 2012 YouTube channel. So I'm starting off the protective style challenge with trimming my hair. And if you're interested in seeing how I specifically trim my hair, then go ahead and keep watching. So I started out doing the search and destroy method, and I'm just going to show you briefly what I did. I already did most of my head, and I'm just going to do the front just to show you how I did it. And I used these scissors. I will link some similar ones below. I can't find the ones that I actually used to trim my hair last time. And then I'm also using grapeseed oil as my moisture. And this is just to give me a little bit of slip because I am detangling my hair as well as I'm doing this to prep for measuring my hair as well as a possible hairstyle that I'm going to do. So I just want to make sure my hair is fully detangled, and I want to get as much of the definition out of my hair so that I can have an even cut. So I'm just showing you the definition that I am going to be getting out so that I can make sure that I do an even trim for my hair. And I use the grapeseed oil to give me enough slip so that I can detangle my hair. I don't want to use a product because I don't want my hair to revert. I want it to be as stretched as possible. And in order to get the stretched look that I have, I just kept my hair loosely braided in like 2 or 3 plaits, and that's how I got my hair to get some stretch. So I start with my ends in regards to doing the search and destroy method, and I look to see if I have any single strand knots or any split ends or any tangles that I wasn't able to get out from detangling. And so I will cut right above any knots that I will see. If I see any split ends, then I search the strand further up just to make sure that there aren't any other split ends further up the hair strand. And also I'll just assess for any other knots within the hair strand, and then I do cut right above the knot. I also finger detangle while doing this because I do use a comb later on for detangling just so that I can make sure I get a really nice trim, and I also did it as a precursor to styling my hair. And the purpose of me doing the search and destroy method before I do my trim is because whenever you do a trim, even if you go to a stylist, they never get all of the split ends out of your hair. And so when you do the search and destroy method, it allows you to go through each section of your hair to see where the split ends are and get them out, and then just do an even cut to round it off. And so I did, like I said, do the rest of my head off camera, and I spent about a total of 7 hours over a couple days, a total of 7 hours doing the search and destroy method because I did want to do a thorough search and destroy because I am going to do a thorough trim since I am not going to be cutting or doing a trim anytime during the next 6 months because of the protective style challenge. So I did want to start off on a good slate and make sure I did do a thorough search and destroy over my whole head. Once I finish doing that section, I go ahead and twist my hair up in a two-strand twist, and then afterwards I go through the two-strand twist and look to see if I missed any split ends or single strand knots. Because the search and destroy method isn't perfect, there is a chance that you will miss single strand knots and split ends. So I just assess the twist and just go through and see if I missed anything and just trim it. Again, I did spend a total of 7 hours to do the search and destroy method, and it does take a long time to do this method to make sure that you thoroughly go through each hair strand and remove any split ends to help prevent any breakage if you're someone who doesn't want to trim your hair or you want to just do a maintenance while you're waiting to do a trim. So I did do this over a couple of days. So I finished with my whole head. If you're someone who likes to cut the ends of your twist, then you can go ahead and just take your scissors and trim the ends of your hair that you see that you want to trim. And I could technically go ahead and do that now and call it a day, but I like to cut my hair with all of my strands out, and I do kind of alternate what kind of method I like to do. So I started out with the back first, and I separated my hair into different types of sections. So I did the very back, I did the middle, I did my two sides, and then I did my front middle. And so like I said, I'm starting with the back, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to put more oil on my hair, and then I am going to detangle my hair with a wide tooth comb. I was doing this with my fingers, but for the second time, I wanted to just go ahead and use a comb, and since I was detangling my hair as I was doing the search and destroy method, it wasn't causing too much stress or friction on my hair, and so I just made that decision to just go ahead and use a comb. But you can use your fingers if you like. And I also, like I said, did not use a product, but I do not want my hair to revert. I want it to stay in this dry state, which is why I was only using the oil. So you just have to be really careful with detangling your hair if you do use a comb, to make sure you're not yanking or pulling out any of your hair strands from the roots. And you're also going to need some hair bands or hair ties so that you could keep your hair taut as you trim it. And so I would just demonstrate what I do here in a video, and we'll come back. I sped this up for you, but I'm basically just detangling my hair with a comb and going in also in finger detangling if I get caught on too many snags, and I'll just go through and separate it with my fingers. And then what I do is I will go ahead and put a hair tie midway through so that I keep that part of my hair taut. And I would have put more hair ties, but I literally only had 3 hair ties to work for each section, so I was limited on how many hair ties I could use. So I used one at the base to keep that taut, one in the middle, and then one towards the ends where I was going to trim. a smaller comb to detangle the very ends of my hair so that I could see where I wanted to cut. And then I also put more oil on the ends of my hair prior to cutting, just to smooth it out, to make sure that my ends were as straight as I could get them. And again, I am doing a search and destroy method again, just to make sure that I didn't miss any split ends, and I also check further up the hair strands as well. So I initially was only planning to cut off about an inch of hair all the way around, but once I cut off the first piece, and you'll see this, like I noticed that I still had a bunch of like dead hair. As you can see, that all of that hair is basically hair that needs to be cut anyways. And so once I cut that part and I looked at the rest of the ends, I saw that I still needed to cut off quite a bit. And so I went ahead and cut off about another inch of hair. And so, and you can see, like, it's all see-through right there that it needs to go. But I was trying to hold on to it. So that's why I just went ahead and just did a really good cut all the way around. And I did trim my hair. I did trim, like I said, another inch off. And all the way around my hair, I did cut about 2 to 3 inches of hair. So I did lose quite a bit of length, but I'm okay with that because I did want to start off this challenge with really good fresh ends and not have any kind of hiccups throughout the challenge with washing and styling my hair. So I'm just making sure that both sides are even. As you can see, I did, like I said, cut off quite a bit of hair. I went from being below my hip to right basically at my hip from the sides. And so I will see, I guess, whenever I measure my hair in the next video what my lengths are, but I'm okay with that. And so I did this process literally all over my head, and I'll show you a few more clips, but I literally just did the same thing all over my head. And once I took my hair out of the bands, I did just do a little bit of just a little small trim on some of the ends that were longer than others, just to make sure that it was even. But you don't have to necessarily do that because I don't wear my hair straight. Having like completely even ends is not necessarily ideal. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed and learned something about how to trim your natural hair and what you plan to do with your natural hair. And so I will see you guys in my next video.